Hello, Lady Raider Nation. Welcome to another episode of Live It Up with the Lady Raiders. I'm your host, Zuri Sanders, and I think this is gonna be a really great episode because today we're talking about the transfer portal. I have some great guests with me, two amazing current Lady Raiders and one of the assistant coaches on staff. How are you guys doing today?
Pretty good.
Yeah, you guys ready to talk about that transfer portal?
Let's do it.
How crazy it is? Yeah. Speaking of crazy, just recently it kind of got addressed, from the NCAA that once an athlete enters their name into the transfer portal, they have a one-time rule to be able to transfer wherever they want to and be able to play automatically. I wish I had that when I was a player, JC. But at the same time, I don't because I was a Lady Raider and I wanted to stay that way for 4 years, so it was nice. But JC, I know that you're very knowledgeable on this topic. Kind of talk to us about the transfer portal and how it has really benefited this program.
Well, for one, I'm grateful for the student athletes obviously we have here today who are helping take our program to the next level. I think as a coach, you can easily fall into the trap because a lot of those players are quickly making decisions to get to school, so it makes the recruiting process in a microwave. And so where you're recruiting a high school kid for 2, 3, 4 years to transfer, you may recruit for 3, 4 weeks, a month and a half, whatever, then they're going to commit. So I think some coaches are taking the approach of taking a little bit of the work ethic out of it, but at the same time, I think if you do that, you're also taking the culture out of your program. But at the same time, you can be blessed to sign some players like we have now to help take our program to that next level.
Yeah. And I think the big thing about recruiting is just transparency. Like, athletes want to hear the truth because, some programs, what you hear when you're being recruited, it's not the same when you're actually playing for that institution. So you guys are a couple transfers here, and the recruiting process is a little bit different, the second time around. How did you guys know that this was the school that you wanted to transfer to? Jazz, how about you tell us?
Well, first of all, just the people here, I came from Houston, so it wasn't as big, and it was very family oriented with everybody here, and I like that, to where it can be my home away from home when I don't have my parents here, and if I need them, it won't be as far as a drive to get here to come to me.
I like that. What about you, Tatum?
For me, I knew Coach Gerlich before I was a Lady Raider because I played basketball with Bryn, AAU basketball with Bryn. So I've just known her and her family for a long time now. I've just known that they're great people. So I really loved that she was the coach here and I wanted to play for her. It was really just a matter of if I was gonna click with the players or not. And so I took a visit up here and I hung out with the players, and it was an immediate bond. I loved all of them. I literally got in the car and told my mom, I don't want to go back home. I just want to keep hanging out with them and stuff like that. So it was just great people here. That's what's most important for me, is just surrounding yourself with great people who are gonna help you become the best version of yourself, and that's what I found here at Tech.
Exactly, and that's so true because it's more than just what you see on the court, right? It's the bond that you build off the court, the family environment, and you even said it yourself, Jazz, a home away from home. I think that a lot of athletes who are getting far away from their hometown, they need that type of reassurance whenever they're going to a new program, and I definitely think that is being implemented here at Texas Tech. I tell Coach Gerlich all the time, I wish I could have played for her, yes. But now I'm working for her, so that it's crazy how it comes full circle, but it's amazing. God works in mysterious ways, but let's just talk about the culture aspect, with everyone kind of coming from different organizations and having different cultures that they were more accustomed to. Coming to the Lady Raider program, what's the culture that you guys have set and you want to be able to pass on to new players coming in?
Well, I think for one thing, just the legacy of Lady Raider basketball, it's built on work ethic, it's work on commitment to being the best, not only on the floor but off the floor. And going back to transparency, I think that's where when you're recruiting a student athlete who's already been somewhere else, they know what they want now, but at the same time, you're not getting the recruit who is a high school kid who wants all the bells and whistles of an official visit. Now they want the nuts and bolts of the program. Who am I going to be coached by? Who are my teammates, like Tatum said? And so the culture we have here is it's going to be work ethic. You're going to do the right things on and off the floor, and that's where the transparency comes in. Hey, you may be in the transfer portal, you're looking for a different place, but this is who we are, and if this isn't what you want, hey, you're not a bad person, maybe you just need to go somewhere else.
Yep, exactly. And coming from different programs, right, the biggest thing is keeping that culture intact, because at the end of the day, it's those girls who are on the court playing and competing with one another, right? So let's talk about the things that happen off the court. What are some things that you guys do as a team to kind of build that bond with one another? Tatum, do you want to tell us?
Yeah, sure. And we do a lot of team bonding stuff that's like obviously set in place for us. Just doing stuff with different recruits and things like that. We get to build a lot, but just on our own on the weekends and stuff, it's like we genuinely like being around each other, whether it's going to eat or hanging out for a football game. We all always have a good time, and even just like hanging out before practice in our locker room. It's just like the little things of like finding time together that's like separate from basketball, where you're just able to get to know each other and relate on a level that's like bigger than basketball and really get to know the people around you.
Right, and let's talk about just getting to know the people around you. I know that there's a growth guide that's in place for this program to kind of just build the relationships with players to coaches and coaches to players and also coaches within one another. Let's kind of talk about, I know that I think there were times that you guys had to have a meal with another teammate on the team, right? And it's someone that you might not be as close with, but you're doing that to kind of get a personal experience with that person. Talk to us about, what did you get out of those experiences? Having, lunch, breakfast, dinner, whatever it may be with that other teammate, and just getting to know them on a different level. Jazz?
It was very interesting. Like some of those I had, like you get to know more about their likes and dislikes and how they like to be talked to and like encouraged on the court and off the court and like just getting to hang with each other. So it was great.
That's awesome. What about you, TV?
Well, something like to go off of how you're talking about the growth guide, what I liked most about it is just like as a player and a leader standpoint is learning how like my players like to be coached or talked to and things like that. That's what I felt like has helped me the most, and I think our coaches have done a great job of taking that into account, just taking the different personality tests, and like some people like to be yelled at, some people need their space, just different things like that. I think that's what's helped us the most and what I've loved about the growth guide.
Right, and I think you're gonna be a terrific coach. I don't know about you, JC, but I want her to hire me whenever she becomes a head coach somewhere, because I think you're gonna be amazing.
I told JC a few years I'll be working under him.
And
You're hired.
Wait, what about my interview?
You were already done deal.
Well, I guess we got it like that. Okay, I just want to thank you guys so much for spending, time out of your days to just talk about the transfer portal, because it is a crazy thing, but it's also an amazing thing because I feel like we got some amazing people here with us today. And thank you guys again for spending another time out of your day with us Lady Raiders. This was another episode of Live It Up with the Lady Raiders. I am your host, Zuri Sanders, and as always, Wreck 'em.